Hello, my Sagittarius friends. This is Kristen Redman, Astrological Intuitive, and today we are going to talk about what 2019 has in store for you. And I tell you what, OMG, this is a great year. A great year for you because your ruling planet Jupiter has returned to your home sign and it hasn't been there for 12 years. And you, as Sagittarius, being ruled by Jupiter, you embody this amazing larger than life energy. Okay, you are Jupiter, my friend. It's about fun and living life and experiencing life, traveling, having fun, maybe too much fun at times. But it's a wonderful energy. And Jupiter is such a planet that focuses on the happiness and joy of life that it ultimately manifests amazing things because it's always so focused on the good. And as a result, it is known as the planet of luck. Now, to have the planet of luck returning to your home sign where it hasn't been since like 2006, 2007, it's like your luck returns and it hasn't been there for a real long time. And that is such a welcome breath of fresh air. And as it goes over the beginning of your chart, it's like a reset button. You are being reset with this energy that's trying to bring you luck, bring you opportunities, and bring you just amazing energy moving forward for the coming year. This started in November 8th of 2018, and it's going to move through until December 3rd of 2019 of this year. So this is a really lucky period. Opportunities are going to pop up out of nowhere where you didn't expect. Ultimately, what they're trying to do is grow you for the better. What happened with you before this, okay, was the total opposite of Jupiter. We had Saturn going over you and into your sign of Sagittarius, whatever. It hadn't been for 30 years, and this happened from 2015 until 2017 into 2018, just barely, okay? So, and while Saturn was going through, it was restricting. Okay, you're ruled by Jupiter. You like things to be expanded and you like things great and grand and wonderful. But Saturn comes through and it's like, we're putting on limitations. We're loading you up with responsibilities. We're making you feel like you are literally restrained by a straitjacket. Because that's what it's doing. And what it was doing was trying to mature you and grow you in ways that it hadn't for the 30 years. Because it takes 30 years for that home skillet to go around the wheel of astrology. And as it is, it's saying, what have you learned in all of these years about yourself and where do you want to go moving forward? So having Saturn finally leaving your sign was like a sigh of relief, and that straitjacket was able to come off. So having your sign of, or your ruling planet of Jupiter coming home is like blowing that puppy off and giving you the luck that you deserve for the hard work that you've had to put in the past couple of years of searching the self, the additional responsibilities you've had to take on for yourself and for others. Jupiter is going to come through and bring you some really cool gifts as a result this year. So in what ways it does? Different for everybody. I guess just manifest out there what it is you do want, especially around the time of your full moon that's going to be happening in the summertime. That's in June when that puppy hits, because that's when your manifesting powers are going to be at their height, at the new moon of Sagittarius, which is in December, and then again the full moon that happens in June. So yay. All right, so now let's move on to something else that be happening up in there for you. So let's go to relationships. Let's sing it. Let's sing it. Because it's some good energy that's going to be happening there for you. Because this energy hasn't been there for a couple of years either. Mars is the planet of passion and energy, and it's trying to invigorate whatever it touches. And it has not touched your relationship house in a couple of years. I'm just saying. So you have this puppy coming back in Gemini. Hold that thought. March 31st to May 6th. I have got some interesting writing here that I've written down my little notes. So from March 31st until May 6th, there is this wonderful period of time when Mars, which is finally rocking and rolling on all cylinders, that's the engine of our universe, and it's been stalled, okay? It's been stalled last year, especially. Now it's finally rocking and rolling, and it's really starting this new year out on an amazing note. I tell you what, that puppy is going to be hitting your house of relationships in March, and it's going to be there for 6 weeks. And I tell you what, it's bringing through, it's like a broom almost that clean sweeps what doesn't work, and it brings some new energy and passion and life. Also watch the shadow side of it, because it can bring some anger too. So maybe some repressed anger issues that focus on you not getting your needs met will resurface in that time frame too. Don't bury them again, okay? Because it's going to be another couple years before it really comes to a head like this, where you can stand up for yourself. You'll have the confidence behind you to stand up to say, this doesn't work. This isn't working for me. This has to change. I exist in here too. Because Mars is very self-focused. And depending on how it's like impacting your chart, I'd have to see your chart in particular to see. But either that's a good thing or a bad thing to have the selfishness coming through. So for now, follow what your intuition is telling you, and maybe some signs that are showing, like legit, if your partner's like you're a selfish jerk face, I would take that as a sign that you probably should not be selfish in this situation. But for the most part, you should be able to, focus on your needs, because that's the point here. And it's bringing through new energy. So let's say that you're looking for somebody new. Let's say you don't have a partner and you're looking for somebody new. Mars coming through that 7th house for you is going to be that welcome breath of fresh air that you need to bring someone in. Good step up in there. Now, another thing that we have happening too is, I'm trying to decide which way I want to go. Let's go to, we'll start with the houses of health and mental health as well. These little quadrants of your chart are going to be hit by the Mercury retrogrades this year. Now, Mercury is the planet of the mind and how we think and how we communicate and how we process the information that comes in and that we learn and how we communicate it outward. Now, when Mercury retrogrades 4 times a year for 3 weeks each time, it gives us a chance to reassess how our communication is working. Depending on the sign that it's in, it helps us to understand if we're in touch with our emotion, if we're impulsive with our speech, if we're too quick, if we're too slow, if we're too this, if we're too that, all these things. Now this year, the Mercury retrogrades are all happening in water signs. So it's really calling us in these time frames to focus on not necessarily what's happening in the logical realm, but to follow what our heart is telling us to do. It's all about communicating through the heart center and feeling. Okay, if this is something that you're very detached from, if you're one of those Sagittarius that have a lot of Capricorn energy to you, because that's the next door sign, especially if your Mercury is in Capricorn, you are going to be somebody that is, I'll just say that people will say it can be cold at times and disconnected from your emotion. And that can very well be the case, especially if your Venus is in Capricorn in your birth chart as well. You build up walls and it's hard to break through. So this is going to be a year where these Mercury retrogrades are going to be impacting these areas of your subconscious mind, asking you how you relate to your emotional self. Not just your emotional self, but your spiritual self as well too. How well do you listen to that intuition of yours that's built in? And how much do you believe that there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel? That's part of this year too, is getting you to manifest these things. But you can't manifest unless you feel it first. That's the trick they say in the manifesting, is that you have to feel that it's already happened. And these Mercury retrogrades are going to give you periods of time where you are able to really start feeling what it is you want. This is going to be directly impacting your health, in your mental health, and what is back here in the subconscious mind that needs to be released. So the Mercury retrograde periods are March 5th to the 28th. The next one will be July 7th through the 31st. And then the last one is October 31st until November 20th. use those times to really get in touch with your emotional self. And it's okay. You know, it's okay to feel. You don't have to block it all. It's all good. So that's a wonderful thing too. Now let's move on to money. Money and career. We have these amazing eclipses that happen every year. And that is like the number one thing that us astrologers, don't mind me messing with my hair. It was just bothering me. No, it's not. These eclipses that come through are what initiate the new beginnings for us for the year. So we always look to see where the eclipses are hitting your chart. Now, eclipses have been in these cycles of Leo and Aquarius for several years. And now they have moved on to Capricorn and Cancer. That started last year. So this is starting a new trend that's carrying through until 2020. And where it's trying to bring these new beginnings for you is in an area of your chart that it hasn't been before, which is in the house of finances. Not that it hasn't been there, but it's been a long time, okay? It's coming here to really let go of the old. This could be old patterns of spending. This can be old ways of relating to money, your views of it, and really move forward. So these eclipse cycles, pay attention to what's happening at the time frame, because that's like a sign from the universe on what needs to change. So January 6th, so this week, here we go. And then we have one July 3rd, and then again on July 17th, which is interesting here, and then December 26th. So January, July, and December, there's going to be some signs for what needs to change in your finances to really bring some new energy through. One of the things too is that you may be able to drop one source of income. So, you know, it's in this vein that's trying to get you to do what you really want to do as opposed to just working for money. So this may be a year where you really feel a push to change your career. Having these eclipses happening in your house of finances too may be asking you to let go of an extra job. Maybe you're doing too much work. This could be a year where you scale that back, or you let go of a job that just does not work with who you are now. I mean, that's okay as well. So now what also is working with that's a pretty cool energy, is that Uranus has moved into your 10th house of career. This dude takes a long time to go around the wheel, like 82 years to move around the wheel. So this is a once in a lifetime energy that is planting itself firmly in your house of career, for 7 years. So, yeah, that's going to start in March 6th, and you are going to have this urge to free yourself from your career and the limitations that have been put on you. It's time to change, and it's time to shift, and it's time to move into where your Sagittarius soul is ready to go. Remember, you have the planet of luck, your planet, behind you 100% this year. So if that is something you're feeling a push to let go of a job and move on, definitely there's energy behind you to free you up to do something that works better for who you are moving forward. I would feel the urge is coming, but the actual action of doing something may wait until the end of the year when Jupiter leaves your sign of Sagittarius and moves into Capricorn, because Capricorn is about career. So when it moves into Capricorn, that's going to be like December 4th. That's a long time away, but that might be a sign too that that's when the timing will be better to take that job. So let's look at specific birthdays. Okay, now this is like a blanket statement, because I'm just looking at the sun sign of all Sagittarius and how the planets out there are affecting you all this year. But our specific birth charts are going to hone in a lot more, because that's based off of your particular birth time, date, and place. And I highly advise having an astrologer look to hone in specifically on what the year has in store. Just so happens that I am a professional astrologer right here. And I have a link below for my special that I do every year. I do like one special or two specials a year. I'm not a big one for doing that, because there's a lot of work that goes into doing these charts. But I do one, and I always do it at the beginning of the year, the $77 special, where we look at what is coming up for your chart. Charts teach us so much about ourselves, and it's just an amazing, amazing experience. So I highly recommend that. Link is below. Enough of that PSA. Let's talk about the blanket statements for each birthday here. So if you have a birthday of December 3rd through the 22nd, this is a year where that ruling planet of yours, Jupiter, that's trying to bring you amazing, lucky opportunities, is legitimately aligned with your sun. Now, this could be a very first time type experience that you've ever had. Really stretching you outside of your comfort zone. Oh my gosh, Jupiter is wanting you to really embody all of the faith-filled qualities that your sign is. You are sent here to be a beacon to the world that shows us that by our faith in God alone, that he will pull us through out of the darkest of times, that we can manifest whatever we want, and that lucky things will happen to us. You are put on this earth to show that. So things are going to happen in your life where you are put in the darkest parts, to have that faith in the darkest of times that things will come through, and they will. Okay, this is one of those years where that happens. The good things come through because that Jupiter is aligned with you. Stretching you out of your comfort zone, though, let me tell you, this is something that's saying this, and it could very well be career. I feel very strongly about that because there's so much energy happening for Sagittarius with career. You've gotten in a comfort zone rut is what the universe is going to be telling you. Move out of it. But it can play in other areas of your life too. I'm just using that as an example. Oh my gosh, you are one of the people that has to travel. Oh, you need to travel anyway because you're a Sagittarius. I mean, that's just part of your energy. But this is going to be a year when you do travel that amazing opportunities appear because you're out and about and doing different things, okay? This is a year of personal growth and self-development in ways that you haven't had for a long time, because that Jupiter is really having you reassess everything from how your faith works to how your energy works to how your life works, all of it. But it ultimately brings great things. So yay for Jupiter. Okay, so now if your birthday is December 7th through the 11th, Neptune out there, the planet of spiritual connections, is going to be squaring up against your sun. So you are definitely going to be on a bit of a spiritual awakening this year. And their main thing that they say, when I say they, it's the guides that are around that help me to assess all these things for everybody. They ask for you to seek your answers within, because Neptune is about your specific metaphysical connection to the other side, your spiritual connection with the essence and energy of God and your spiritual network that he's provided you with. Go and seek the answers within, because you have a lot of energy that's coming through, helping you to better understand some clarity on what you're asking. So yeah. Uranus is going to work with your sun if your birthday is one of the 2 days, December 21st or 22nd. If your birthday is there, boy, is this a year where you are going to be feeling this push for freedom and liberation from the things and those comfort zones that you're stuck in that hold you back. This is going to be a year of a repetition cycle that shows up that says, yeah, I don't like this comfort zone anymore because it ain't getting me where I want to go. And when you do, you're exploring the true authenticity of who you are. This is a year of self-assessment, big time. Let's be honest with yourself. Sagittarius is a sign of honesty. All right, so this is a year where it's really going to be pulled out. How honest am I with who I am, where I am, what I am? And as a result, some amazing things come through that break you out of that rut. So, Sagittarius friends, enjoy this amazing year. Wonderful energy that'll come back around 12 years from now. So harness those opportunities that pop up out of nowhere, okay? Because they are signs from the universe trying to push you out of the comfort zone into wonderful places that you need to go. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I do weekly videos on what's happening out there in the skies. Follow me on Facebook. I give little tidbits and insights also on there. And please schedule a reading with me. I do in person, phone, Skype, all sorts of ways. So let's help you to make this one of the best years ever. Thank you so much. Bye.